So a funny thing happened this week. I actually ended up painting the same picture several times. It was originally for my members class and I did a little practice experimental piece, and then while I was doing the class I completely forgot to hit record. So yep, you guessed it, I had to paint it again. But somewhere along the way I realised that instead of getting bored repeating this painting over and over again, each version of it was getting a little bit better. But instead of painting it yet again today, I thought I would take the idea into my sketchbook, play about with some mixed media and talk about why repeating the same subject and being repetitive within our creative journey is something that I don't think we do enough of as adults. So get cozy, grab a cuppa, and let's talk about something magical. So why did repeating the same subject feel a little strange? When I realised I was about to paint the same thing again, a little part of me thought, surely I should be doing something new. Surely I should be moving on, moving forward. And I think a lot of us feel like that as adults. We tell ourselves that every sketchbook page has to be different. Every painting has to be a little bit more original than the last. And if we're repeating ourselves, maybe we're not making progress. But this week, and my silly little mistake has reminded me that the opposite is often true. As I thought about it, I kind of remembered my comparison to us adults as beginners forgetting the way that we encourage children to learn. So let's think about how children learn for a moment. We don't teach them the alphabet once and expect them to remember it forever. They sing the same songs, they read the same books, they practice the same letters, they write the same words again and again and again. And nobody looks at a child and says, "You've already drawn a cat once, you should probably move on now and draw a dog or a duck instead." We expect them to repeat themselves. We expect repetition constantly because we understand and know as adults that that's how learning works. But weirdly, as adults, we seem to forget this. We just, somewhere along the journey, we forget that the same brain that we had as a child came with us into adulthood, and that we still learn through repetition. Every time we mix the same colours, paint the same tree, draw another mushroom, or come back to the same little woodland scene, we strengthen pathways in our brain. The decisions become easier, the brush feels more familiar, and we stop thinking so hard and we start creating a little more naturally, a little more freely, and a little more relaxed. I think there's another reason repetition is so important, especially as adults. The first time we try something, we often use all of our attention just to work out what we're doing. Where do we start? Which brush should I use? How much water? What color should that be? Everything feels like a decision. But the second time or the third time, something begins to change. We're not spending quite so much energy figuring everything out, which means we have a little more space in our brains to notice things. Maybe we experiment with a different color. Maybe we try a different brush stroke. Maybe we add a few extra details that we wouldn't have been brave enough to try the first time around. Repetition doesn't just help us get better. It gives us the confidence to be much more playful. And I think that's where creativity really starts to grow. And yes, there is actually some science behind this too. So I went and did a little bit of digging, but I'm just going to sum it up for you in a nice, gentle way. When we repeat a skill, our brains strengthen the neural pathways involved in doing it. The more often we practice something, the less effort it takes for our brains to recognize that pattern, to solve problems, and to remember what to do next. Psychologists sometimes call this moving a skill towards automation, where actions become more natural because the brain no longer has to consciously think through every tiny step. It's one of the reasons that musicians practice scales, dancers have rehearsals and do the same routines over and over, and athletes repeat the same movements time and time again. And artists shouldn't be any different. Repetition isn't holding us back. It is often the thing that is quietly and gently moving us forward. And one thing I have realized while making this fun sketchbook page is that I wasn't actually repeating everything. The subject was very familiar, but the materials were different. Instead of grabbing out my acrylic paints and painting another finished version, I was experimenting with mixed media. So I was building confidence in something that still feels a little new to me. This is a subject that I already deeply understand: forests and woodlands and magical glowing light, but mixed media pages in my sketchbook are still a little daunting and I'm never sure where to begin. Taking the idea from this painting that I have repeated so many times in the last 24 hours made experimenting with mixed media in my sketchbook feel much less intimidating. I also wonder if we've accidentally convinced ourselves that repeating something is boring. But when I think about artists that I admire, so many of them spend years exploring the same subjects, the same flowers, the same landscapes, the same woodlands. Not because they ran out of ideas, but because they realized there was always something new to discover. The light changes, the colors change, the season changes. Our own skills change. Even if the subject looks familiar, we're not the same artists we were the last time we painted it. Every version quietly teaches us something the previous version couldn't. I don't know about you, but I think that sometimes I worry that repeating myself means that I'm running out of ideas. But maybe it actually means the opposite. Maybe we've found a subject and a thing that we are genuinely curious about, and curiosity is often worth following. If you paint mushrooms every week, paint mushrooms. If you love little cottages, paint little cottages. And if, like me, you keep coming back to trees and forests and woodlands, then keep coming back to trees. There isn't a rule that says we have to constantly reinvent ourselves. Sometimes we simply need to go a little deeper instead of somewhere completely different. The more we repeat a subject, the more we learn about it, the more it becomes natural and easy and relaxing to paint. And every time I paint another tree or another mushroom, I look at it in a completely new way. So maybe today this is your little reminder that repeating isn't cheating, it isn't failing. It's practicing, it's learning, it's noticing things that you didn't notice last time. And every time you come back to a subject that you love, you are quietly becoming a stronger artist without even realizing it. So don't be afraid to paint the same thing over and over again, 2 times, 3 times, 10 times. Because art isn't about constantly chasing something new. Sometimes it's just about noticing something familiar in a completely different way. Now, I'd love to know, do you have a subject that you love coming back to time and time again? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, remember, just play, create, relax, and you will make something magical.